Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy. Been with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. We're part of CRS. It's day two of our little CRS
So
mini series,
excited.
and we're excited to be a part of
Yeah.
CRS. We're excited to bring some of the artists from CRS and all that, and talk about CRS, their music, and everything in between.
hmm
And today we've got as the first guest is Elena McCready coming on, and she's doing some great things out there, and we're excited to have her on. And so, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's
Excited to be here.
definitely our.
My first CRS, so
Yeah.
So I always like to start the show out the same as we've been doing, because we're in a tough time right now with what's all going on with the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Um, so how has COVID affected you, and what have you done to kind of maneuver through that?
I mean, it's obviously brought pretty much our entire industry to a halt, at least for a legitimate period of time last year. And it was crazy. I mean, touring for the past, 3 or 4 years, and to go from playing multiple shows a week and touring everywhere to not at all is crazy. I remember one time I sat down and I was like, I don't think I've ever been home for this amount of consecutive days in like years. I'm like, I have a whole new appreciation for staying at home. But it was hard. But then you sort of have to shift your mindset to, okay, well, I can't play a show and get that creative outlet. So how else can I do it? And for me, it was writing new music. So throughout the pandemic and quarantine and everything, I co-wrote with one of my friends the new EP.
Oh wow!
And
So
wrote it,
tell us
recorded
about that song.
So Something Like That is the first single that we're going to release from the new EP. And that'll be on the 26th of this month. And yeah, we kind of sat down and we were like trying to figure out what we wanted to write about. And he played something really silly on the guitar. And I was like, yeah, something like that. And we looked at each other. We were like,
Oh wow.
that's the title. We don't know what it's about yet,
Yeah.
but that's the title. So, and then it sort of evolved into this, what people think they want in relationships. And I feel like people get so caught up on all these little details of all these little things they want from people and what they need and all this stuff. And what it really boils down to, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people, is it's really just simple stuff. Like you don't need all the extra stuff. You just need the simple stuff. Don't lie to me and be nice to me and spend time with me. Like, what else do I need?
Exactly. Yeah.
Going back about COVID and stuff, like for our show, we launched January of 2020, so a couple months before COVID started.
Mhm.
And I remember our original plan was 100 interviews first year, and we was going to hit it out the park, 100
Yes.
interviews, and then COVID happened. And I was like, oh man, this could be a blessing for our show, because the whole industry slowed down.
It did.
So now they have time to come on our show. and so because of that, I told Sandy, you know what, we're going to step it up. We're going to do more than what most people would ever do. We did over 300 interviews last year.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So, a lot of hosts would ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? But I always like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career?
I think it clicked when I was working after college. I was doing PR in New York, and I have always wanted to do music, but I sort of got distracted and, doing other things. I played a sport in college, and so that was a whole other, it feels like a whole other life, but at this point, and then I'm in the real world working, and I'm like, you know what? I got an opportunity. My uncle is a recording artist, and he was like, you should come down here, just record some stuff, write some stuff, see like what happens. And so I did, and I went to Nashville and recorded the first couple songs off of my first album. And I talked to the producer afterwards, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I think this is what I should be doing. What do you think? Like, you're in this industry and, you see this all the time. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Don't, give me your honest opinion. Do you think I could do this as a career? And he was like, I think so. And I was like, okay, cool, me too. I'm in. You know, so
Yes.
I think, I think it clicked at that point, and I was like, I need to give this 150% of myself at this point. So I quit my job, I moved, and I've been doing music full time since then. And that was 2013. So.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that's a perfect lead in to the next segment. You couldn't get no more perfect. As you know, a lot of people, they see the glory of a Blake Shelton, of a Miranda, of a Carey, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level. And I always want to talk about that side of it on our show because, as you know, nobody really talks about it. It's almost like glossed over.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell a quick story to help guys kind of and I'm going to tell a quick story where I want this to go. But back in 2014, we interviewed Allison Steele from Two Steel Girls. And at that time, they were full-time with music. And I'll never forget, I asked Allison what advice she'd give an up-and-coming artist. And she said, this will sound funny coming from someone full-time, but if your heart will allow you to do anything, if you can see yourself doing something else, go do that and just keep this as a hobby. She goes, because the moment you want it to be a career, everything changes. She goes, everybody kind of owns a piece of your life. You no longer own your own life. She goes, your friends and relatives never understand because they invite you to weddings, to cookouts, to weekends, to holidays. But when you're in that grind mode, especially at the first few years of your business, you have to say no to everything. And they don't understand that a lot of times. Then your family has to sacrifice because they got to kind of say, you know what, I'll share you with the world, and at least tell you they're okay with it, even though they're not. But then she added, and then she added, but if you cannot see yourself doing anything else, then go all in, because the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it. What do you think of what she said? Let's talk about that side of it.
I completely agree. I think that there is a lot of people who keep it as a hobby because, they have another job that they like or that they're good at or things like that. And for me, I was doing something else and I was good at it and I was okay with my job, but I was like, this isn't where my life is supposed to go. My life is, I'm supposed to be playing shows. I'm supposed to be singing for people. I'm supposed to be writing songs. And I won't feel fulfilled unless I'm doing that. And so I think she's definitely correct. And if you can't see yourself doing something else, you have to just go all in, and you can't listen to everyone around you, even if it might be your family or it might be your friends. You can't let them be like, well, are you sure? It's really hard. It's, well, it's maybe, and it's like, yeah, I know, but this is what I'm supposed to do. You go and you're first starting out, you're playing shows in bars that are full of, smoke and, 3 people and one of them's the bouncer, it's like, but you play a full show, like there's 1,000 people there because it doesn't matter. It's just, everything goes away. When you're playing a show or when you're singing for people. Passion. Yes, when you're doing something that's your passion, what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, I could play a show for my dog. I don't care. It's just, it just feels right. And that, again, is a struggle from the whole COVID thing this past year. It just didn't, I feel like for a lot of artists, it just didn't feel right to be sort of disconnected from our fans. It's one thing to play a virtual show, but it's another thing to be right here with someone playing a show to them, seeing their face and being with everybody. We off of that. And so it's just a crazy feeling and a crazy thing. But I think everything she said is correct. It's you miss a lot, but at the same time, what the end could look like.
Yeah.
And if you give it everything you had or have, there's no regrets. I don't ever want to be, 10, 15 years down the road and regret that I didn't go all in.
And wonder what if. Yeah,
that would be worse than missing some parties or some weddings, or, you know what I mean? And so that would be worse to me.
And we know exactly where y'all are coming from as artists because we are on the chasing that same crazy dream, but on a different platform as hosts. Because we want to be the Bobby Bones, the Kelly Clarkson
Yes.
show, and stuff like that. So a lot of people will tell us that this ain't never going to make it and all that, or it's so hard. And they're right; it is really hard. There's
You're like,
when it
okay.
comes to when it's like podcasts out there's like 2,000-3,000 or more podcasts that all have the same dream as we have.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have to pursue this because we love doing this, and we don't want to look back on our marriage and our life and wonder what if.
Yeah. I mean, that's not living. You just, you can't not do something that makes you happy or that you love to do or that you're passionate about just because of what might possibly go wrong. Like there's so many opportunities for things to go wrong in our industry. And if you're constantly thinking about all of those and you hold yourself back or don't do certain things because of what might possibly happen, then you're not living, and that's not living up to your full potential. And so, I mean, I'm literally living in an Airbnb right now in Nashville because I just moved here from Atlanta a week and a half ago.
Wow.
Because of the weather and stuff, my house is not ready yet. So I'm just in limbo right now.
Oh, wow.
But you got to do what you do.
Exactly. You got to do what you have to do. I'm like, okay, well, I'll live in an Airbnb. I have work to do. I have things to release, songs to release. I have stuff to do. So this is what I got to do.
That's like there's just so many artists when you hear their stories of the big artists and where they talk about they moved to Nashville and lived in their car for a couple months.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, not everybody can hit it big, but you know what? If you're not, and some people may not have to do that, but if you're not willing to do that, you'll never get there.
That's the difference for sure.
Yeah, because you got to be willing.
I've been living in Atlanta for the last 8 years, and I've been able to do music full time there. I love Atlanta. I have a good fan base there. I have all this, like all of these amazing friends and fans and people I've worked with and colleagues and stuff. But I'm like, I'm about to release this new music, and I need to be in it. I need to be available. I need to be where country music is to be able to immerse myself in it and be available and give my new music and just me as a singer-songwriter the best chance possible.
And that's like what for our show, we're next 12 or so months, we're planning on moving out to Nashville too. Because even though now our show started out as a country music interview show, but now it's kind of blossomed into a full entertainment interview show where we bring actors and all that. But Nashville's still a great place because you've got the music side. You also got a lot of entertainment and film starting to come to Nashville. So we can have the best of all worlds by being in Nashville.
Yeah, it's growing so quickly.
And we're still just a plane ride to LA if we ever have to go out that way.
Exactly. And shorter. I mean, I'm like, it's a shorter ride to LA now than it was from Atlanta. So I mean, just so many yeses.
Exactly. So what are a few moments where you look back in your career and you're like, wow, I got to do that?
Oh, wow. I feel like it's been 40 years, but it's really only been like 10. I think I got to go back and play. I went to University of Wisconsin for college, and I played hockey there in college. And so a couple years ago, I got to go back and sing the national anthem for my old school. And it's sort of like my two worlds lives colliding. And that was really awesome because it was just sort of like a full circle thing, because all through college, I'm like, I want to do music. I want to do music, and I'm playing hockey and doing all of these things, and, you can't really do both. And so being able to go back and kind of have it be full circle and do that was really Cool. Summerfest a couple of years ago, I got to open for Dan and Shay before they were Dan and Shay, really. Yeah. And so that was really cool. It was like maybe a year later, all of a sudden they were just huge, and I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, wait,
Yes.
what happened? You know, that was sort of a moment where I was like, that was cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
so
love that.
yeah, there's just been a couple of moments like opening for people
Awesome.
before they were, household names.
We got to interview Kelsey Ballerini back in 2014.
Yes.
Oh,
Before she was known.
Isn't it crazy? And then all of a sudden you're just like, wait, this person is
And we interviewed her.
yeah. You're like,
But it's really cool though. What's really been cool is like we interviewed Lee Bryce recently, and he's on top right now. So
right.
we're starting to get to do that too.
Yeah, that's amazing. See, the reason you guys should come here.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the artists, but they don't see the team behind them. And I think the team never gets enough love. So tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
So my team right now, I'm with Aristo Media here in Nashville, and they're handling all of my PR and helping bring the song to radio and all of these things, interviews, everything. So they're pretty much helping me with everything right now. Other than that, it's my family. So I am so thankful for Aristo. They literally are. I met up with them at the perfect time, and so they helped this whole transition to Nashville and stuff be so much easier. So, the single would definitely not be at the place it's at right now, I don't think, without them. So I'm very thankful.
And we've got speaking of team, we've got a third co-host, our little 9-year-old that we let come on.
Yes, his name's
She's going to go get him real quick.
I'll get him for a couple questions.
And we've got a 23-month-old little daughter. She'll be 20. I mean, she'll be 2 years in 10 days, I think it is. So eventually we'll bring her on when she starts talking.
Yeah,
because we are family stuff.
Yeah, I was just on posting my Instagram story before we started this because my dog she was just napping and I can like see her from this angle in the bedroom and she was asleep and I was like, yeah, I'm just getting ready to do interviews. My assistant is so lazy. She's just in there sleeping. Hi.
Hi, Elena. So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is sushi.
And what's yours?
Pizza.
Well, obviously, it's everyone's favorite. I'm just weird.
Got another question?
Yeah, he's got one more.
So, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, my favorite TV show. That's hard. I've been binging a lot of Netflix since everyone's been stuck inside. Favorite TV show. Currently, I'm rewatching The Blacklist. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'm rewatching that.
Yes, but we
like that show.
And then I've also been binge watching all of the seasons of Survivor for some reason. I don't know why I all of a sudden got back into there. So there's like 40 seasons. So.
There's seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's like 40, so I've been binge watching those for absolutely no reason.
Bye, thanks.
Bye, thank you.
So, as we get to go to our next interview, tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That's Zoe. She's a camera hog. Everyone can find me. Instagram is Alana McCready Music. Facebook, Alana McCready Music. Everything is pretty much across the board, Alana McCready Music. And then it's just AlanaMcCready.com.
I love that. And you know what? We look forward to having you back down the road.
Yes, I would love it.
All right. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm sitting in Norway, and finally, it's not that cold that it has been here. So I'm really, really happy about that. How about you guys?
Oh wow!
Yes.
So as you know, it's right now. It's a tough time in the entertainment world because
it
of
did.
COVID.
Mhm.
So how has COVID affected you, and what have you done to kind of maneuver through this crazy new phase?
Uh, well, I'm as I told you, I'm living in Norway, so I was supposed to move to Nashville to stay there for a while just before the COVID started and everything was.
Mhm.
Can you turn your sound up a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Yep,
Yes.
is it better?
Better, much.
Much better.
Perfect.
Okay,
Awesome, huh?
cool. Yeah. Yes, I was supposed to go to Nashville and stay there for a while, just before the COVID locked everything down. So,
Mhm.
but just I'm trying to see things in a negative perspective. Sorry, positive perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, not negative. Is enough of negative things. But the thing is that I've been able to write a lot of songs with people from Nashville because of everybody had to go virtual, with
Mhm.
Zoom and the internet. So because of that, I have been able to write a lot of songs and connect with people from Nashville and from the U.S. and England and other places because of COVID-19. If I haven't done that, I may had to be in Norway and couldn't connect with anybody. So I learned the Zoom and I learned how to use the royal stuff. I think everybody has. So at least
I love
Yeah.
that. That's like with us. We launched a show January of 2020,
Mhm.
and a couple months before
Couple
COVID.
months before.
And our original plan was 100 interviews our first year. We thought, if we could do that, we would lay a
Wow,
great
that would be a
foundation.
lot.
We thought that was pushing it, to be honest
We
with you.
did.
So we did that, and then COVID happens. And I told
yeah,
Sandy, you know what? This could be our year to shine, because as we grow our show, everybody's slowing down. So they're going to actually be able to get booked on our show now. And
Mhm.
because of that, we end up doing over 300 interviews last year.
oh, that's great. That's awesome.
So
And
in a way, COVID exploded our show.
It did.
yes, and as I told you earlier, at least I was trying to tell you that if you can see the things in a positive way, there are a lot of things that people had to turn a little bit of the things that's not normal, and so it's a new normal now. So this starting to be normal. The interviews on Zoom link and all of
Mhm.
that stuff. It's a new normal, and we have to adapt. But I really hope we can meet for real, really
Exactly.
soon.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, I mean, having all this is fun and all that, but there's nothing like face to face.
That's true.
That's true. It's a lot
And I
better.
believe it's coming. I mean, again, I don't
Yeah,
think
it
it'll
will
be
come
this.
back.
There'll be
At
some
least
things
next
come
year.
back this year, but I think that we may see a somewhat normal. I think that is what I predict is next year.
Yes, and I've been kind of hoping for every month. It's like next month is
Mhm.
next month is better, but it doesn't get any better. It's
Well,
getting worse. And I
I
was like
think we're
thinking,
getting there.
We're kidding.
yes, we're getting there. It's just you have to be patient. And the thing is that I was thinking like 2021 is going to be the year where everything is going to be great from January the 1st. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking, but
Yes.
it really does take a while. So
Yes,
we
It
have
yes,
to
because
does.
Sandy's done a lot of research on pandemics,
Yes.
and
on big
she's found that
pandemics.
big pandemics, on average, take 2 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Average
like the
2 years.
one in 1918 was a 2-year journey
It was.
to get through that. And so we've got I believe about a year to go. And will we ever see the total normal? I don't know,
We don't know at
but
this
I
point.
think we will have a somewhat normal by next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and probably if we don't go back to the way it was before, we will probably think that this is a new normal, and to go back to as it was is not normal again. If you know what I mean, we're getting so used
Absolutely.
to this situation right now, so
Yeah.
we are adapting
Mhm.
all the time, and so this is probably how it's going to be. But must say, because of the COVID-19, I'm going to appreciate everything so much more
Yep.
when things starting to
Exactly.
turn into the normal
Exactly.
stuff. To be listening to a show that you can actually see the people in person,
Mhm.
and sitting at a
Mhm.
bar having a beer and listen to the live shows. It's I really miss it. So
Yeah.
at least I
Yeah.
hope that's going to go back to the
Yeah.
old school
We hope
stuff
so.
as
Now,
it should
Yeah.
be.
now tell us a little bit about There I Was.
There I Was is a song written by Dave Thompson. He's a great songwriter. The thing about that song is that as I was trying to, record a song that I wanted to have a commercial adaptivity to it, and that people will like and catch the song. And I was thinking about if I find a good songwriter and a great producer, the only one that can mess it up is me. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's why I did it. It's a great songwriter. It's a great song. So if everything goes wrong, it's because of my voice. So that's why I wanted to do it that way, because that was the first kind of song that was going statewide. So I think it turned out okay. And the thing about the song is that I feel like it's kind of in between the old school traditional country,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
also it got something from the modern country music, and that's where I want my sound to be, somewhere in between those two. I don't want it to be too modern and not too old school. It's somewhere in between, where that's where I like the music to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
Good
Yeah.
balance.
Hmm.
Now, as you know, a lot of people they see the glory of like a Blake Shelton, a Carey, a Miranda, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level within music.
Hmm.
And I always want to talk about that side of it because nobody really talks about this side of it. And I think it's so important. I'm going to tell a quick story to help guide us where I want us to go. But back in 2014, we interviewed Allison Steele from Two Still Girls. And at that time, they were full time with music. And I'll never forget, I asked Allison what advice she would give an up and coming artist. And she said, this will sound funny coming from someone full time, but if you can see yourself doing something else, go do that and just keep music as a hobby. She said, because the moment you want it to be a career, everything changes. You have, your friends and relatives never understand because they invite you to weddings, to cookouts, to weekends, to holidays. But when you're in that grind mode, you have to say no to everything and yes to everything music, and you got to be all in. She said then your family has to sacrifice because they have to kind of give you up to the world and say, okay, I'm willing to share you with the world, and sometimes they get the leftover pieces of where the world gets the best pieces of you, and they have to be okay with that. But then she added, but if you cannot see yourself doing anything else, then go all in, because the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it. What do you think of what she said? Let's talk about that side.
I so agree with every word that she said, because, as you say, people only see the shine, the where everything is great, and it's it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work, and I didn't know that myself before I started full time with music. I didn't know it was this much work. At least when you're in a place where I am, you're an independent artist, and you have to do most of the stuff yourself.
Mhm.
And you
Hmm.
feel like if you're not always working all the time, almost 24/7, because I live in Norway and things happening in Nashville when I'm sleeping, so I can't sleep. I have to stay awake. So it's 24/7 job, and if you feel like if you don't work all the time, it's like time running away from you. And I told one, I have two kids, and the thing is, sometimes when you have kids, you can be so tired. They wake you up in the middle of the night. You
Oh,
have
yes.
you had 2 hours sleep, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. But then this
Yes.
little child, this little baby or whatever, he looks at you and he smiles, and then everything is gone. Everything is forgotten. All the struggle, all the stuff is just forgotten because of the smile, and you think, oh my God, you're so pretty.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how
Absolutely.
it is with music. You're struggling and you're working a lot, and but there are these small things, like this interview, and when you're standing on a stage and the audience, you get the applause, you get this stuff back, and then all the struggle, all the times you put in there is forgotten, and you're
Yeah.
just like, yes,
Yeah.
this is exactly where I want to be. So you have to have that feedback and those things that like boost the motivation again, and
Yeah.
that's a kind of
Mhm.
hard in 2020 because you don't get that, but of
Mhm.
course there's a lot of stuff happening, but uh, the best thing is when you're standing on a stage and you get uh, the response from an audience. That's what keeps you going.
And we definitely understand what you're going through and
Oh,
all that because
yeah.
we're chasing the same dream just on a different platform. We want to be the Bobby Bones, the Ty Bentleys, the Kelly
Yeah,
Clarkson shows. We're striving to be that.
of
And
course.
so, and you've got thousands of podcasters out there that do what we do. So we have to
Mhm.
find our little niche. And I think being a married couple is one thing, and adding
It is.
our family atmosphere into the show is another thing that kind of helps us be different. But we're chasing that dream just like you. And so, and you talking about 2 kids, we get it. We got a 9-year-old, which you'll hear from him in a little bit, because we always have him come on the show too.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
we also, we have a almost 2-year-old too. So
Mhm.
we're trying to do a show from home with 2 kids in the house, and we have to balance all this, and we have to
Yes.
try to make sure everything's right, and then we have to
Yeah.
make sure that Caitlin
Yeah.
gets her nap at the right
There's no
time.
babysitter.
We got no
Just us.
babysitter, so it's just us. So it's like we're trying to do all this, and sometimes it's really hard to balance it all.
It is sometimes, but it is worth it. Like you were talking about,
Yes,
always worth
that's
it.
right. It's worth it because, and another thing that I think is important to do is that you have to sit down and uh, look back and or how far you have come from where you started, because it's easy to forget. And another thing that is easy to forget that I've been noticing is that if it gets if it if it's going to be like a regular job, because you are writing songs, you are the interviews, you have Zoom meetings, all of this. You have to stop and you have to think, I'm doing music, I'm doing what I love doing, and so that's
Hmm.
going to turn into a regular job, if you know what I mean. And you
Yeah.
have to think
Yeah.
about,
Sometimes it can be a rut.
yes, yes, you have
Hmm.
to think about, this is what I love doing. And when you, so the song you're singing, if you like, you're thinking about the lyrics, and it will be delivered in another way than if you just sing it like a job. You have to think about what you're doing. And I think it's the same with you guys. If you like, don't forget why you're doing what you're doing. I'm sorry about the language, but it's hard to
Oh, no
explain. But
problem.
I hope you understand what I mean. It's
We totally get it.
Oh, we get
yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah.
important to remember why you do what you do.
Yeah, because
Yes. Yes.
again, because there are times where, and I'll be honest, there are times where we have a day, and I'm like, I just don't want to do this.
Yeah,
But
yes,
Until it's
but
showtime.
then when it's showtime, it's showtime. It's
Oh yes, you're in the
yeah,
then
zone.
I'm in the zone, and then it's easy to remember. Okay, this is why I do it. This is to get your story out,
Yes,
to
we
hear the
love this
craziness
part.
of these
Hmm.
artists and the actors, the
Yes,
CEOs
what
that we
they're
bring
going
on,
through,
what
getting their
they're going
stories.
through, the connections that we make with the people.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I realize, okay, I know why we're doing it. But again, but when you're doing it over and over and over and over and over, sometimes it can be a rut.
yes, it can. But the thing that I noticed a lot is that those times when you're really tired and you're like, I can't do this today. A lot of times, that's the best ones.
Uh-huh.
That's, you have to do
Yes,
them.
we've said that. Yes, we've
Yeah,
Yeah,
noticed
it's
that.
funny. Every now and then we'll have a guest that I tell Sandy,
That you feel sort of out
I'm
of your comfort
out of my
zone
comfort
to
zone a little
think.
bit, and
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
Yes,
And then
No.
it ends up being one of the best
it
interviews we
always
ever
is.
had.
Yes.
Yes, it's very like that. So I've been noticed that too, and that's the thing that keeps you going.
It
To
does.
remember why I do what you do. And another thing is that I hope you guys understand how much we artists appreciate people like you that are actually taking the time out of their lives and do this, so we can go to your shows, you interview us, and we can tell people about our music and what we feel. Without you guys, we haven't been able to do that. So we appreciate every minute, every hour you put into this, because
Oh,
I don't know
Yeah,
thank
what we
you.
we
can do
definitely
without you.
appreciate that.
You do.
So somebody asked, where do you get your inspiration for a new song?
It's a lot of different places actually, but I write a lot of breakup songs,
Ah,
and yeah, and as people have been asking why, because I'm married, I have 2 kids, and I think it's because it's my worst nightmare.
we get that.
Definitely get
Yes.
Yeah,
that.
I know. So I've been thinking about, and I also have a lot of friends. I have a lot of relatives, and I can see a situation in the family, and I can kind of relate to it and think about it, and then I can get inspiration for a song from another person's how he is, because I live in a really actually pretty boring life. I'm married, have 2 kids, everything is okay. So there won't be any good songs of that. You know what I mean? So, but I did write a song not too long ago about how I wish I could turn back time. How I wish I
Oh,
could
love
tell, yeah.
Love that.
And that was because I was in a situation where I actually wanted that. I wanted to because of the COVID-19, and I'm an artist, and there wasn't a lot of money, and there was bills was had to be paid and all that. And I was sitting in my car, and I was thinking, I wish I could go back in time and do stuff in another way. So I write
um,
this song about how I wish time was a man that I
Wow.
could talk to about his
Love that.
hands.
yeah.
Yeah, so I could turn his hands back, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
and that's probably is that song will be released in, I think it's going to be in the end of March.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. We'll
Yeah, so
definitely
Now,
check that out.
now, as you know, a lot of people see the artists, but they don't see the teams behind
Mhm.
them. And I think that the teams never get the love that they deserve.
They
On
do.
our
I
show,
so
they
agree
do.
with
Mhm.
And while you tell us about your team, I'm gonna have Sandy go on and get little Chris because he's part of our team too.
Yes, our
you.
So,
Yeah.
third
so,
co-host. Yes, for
so
question.
just tell us about the team that kind of helps you be who you are.
My team is one of the number one team members is my wife because she's always supportive. She's always there when I'm tired. She's there pushing me forward. And then I got the Aristo PR that are doing an incredible job with promoting me. They actually had me on the Country Rebel, this gigantic
Oh wow.
page on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great.
Yes, that was so cool. And I didn't actually believe it when she told me you have to do an acoustic video for Country Rebel. And I was like,
Oh,
no,
cool.
I think probably somebody else, you know, but it was so cool. And then it's my producer, Brad Hill. That is great. Hey, hello.
Hi, Daniel. So, what's your
Hello there.
favorite? Let's do good. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? I
Yes.
think, I think it's pizza.
Mm.
Mm,
And what's
What's
yours?
your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Yes.
What do you
Y'all are
want
the
on the
same.
pizza?
Yeah.
You like cheese on the pizza?
I like pepperoni and sausage.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Actually, pepperoni is the best. Have you eaten a Norwegian pizza before?
I never tried that.
I'm from Norway, so we only have Norwegian pizza. So you have to try that. If you ever get to Norway, you have to try Norwegian pizza.
Ooh.
Mm.
That's good, right?
Yes.
Right. You got one more question?
Yes. So, what's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show right now is Yellowstone.
Ah,
You
Ah,
know the guys with the horses and the ranch up in
Uh huh.
Montana.
I watched videos of that on my phone.
Oh, you do? That's cool.
Yes.
Yes, I think I'm from Norway, so in Norway we don't have the latest series. So I'm waiting for the season 3 to come to Norway. You
and
probably
what's yours?
already seen
Mine
that.
is SpongeBob, my favorite show.
SpongeBob, yes, I seen
yes.
him. He's cool.
Yes.
And what's been cool about it is we've been able to. He watched a lot of Nickelodeon shows, so we've been
He
able to
does.
bring a lot of people from his shows onto our show.
That's great. That's so cool to have somebody to so you can talk to them. I wish
Yeah.
somebody could bring me Travis Tritt so I could talk to him, or
Oh,
Garth
that'd
Brooks,
be awesome.
or something like that. That would be cool.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, he loves that part. Like I said, we've got a 2-year-old or almost 2-year-old that we'd be bringing on the show too if we that when she gets a little older.
Yes.
Yes, that's cool. It's important to bring the whole family. That's
Yep.
the same
It
thing with me.
is.
I have my wife and I have my 2 kids, and they are so supportive. Like you said earlier, they give you so much of their time. You know, they give the world. They share you with the world, and it's so true because everybody they kind of have a look inside at my soul because it's songwriting, you know, and it's kind of
Mm.
emotional and it's honest. And so I'm really happy that my wife is so supportive, and also my kids. They think it's really cool that their dad
Yeah.
is a country
Yeah.
artist.
So as we come to a close here, tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
yes.
Yes, you can reach out to me through Instagram. It's Daniel Borge, Borge, music, and it's the same in Facebook, and on Twitter it's Daviel with a V, country music, and that's what was because they didn't have the email address. Somebody else took the Daniel, so I had to put the V in for Daviel. So that's why it's like that.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
That is
yeah.
danielbroch.com for my website.
Okay.
Cool. We really enjoyed having you on the show,
We
and
did.
we look forward to having you back down the road.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's really cool talking to you guys.
It's definitely our
thank
pleasure. You have
you.
a great day.
Yes.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, the reason I cut out is our next guest, I seen pop in up there. They are.
Oh, yes.
Perfect timing.
Hi.
We saw y'all pop in a while ago and you disappeared. We're like, okay, where'd they go?
Yes.
No, I thought we came in too early, so I had left. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
Well, no, you were in the back. We've got a little back room.
Yeah,
Oh,
kind
okay,
of.
okay.
We're kind of in the background.
And
Yeah.
the way I was doing the shows today is when they're back to back like this, I just do one link and have one guest, next guest. So it's all one video for CRS.
Yes.
Okay. I was scared I was interrupting. I didn't want to like.
Oh, I understand.
So everybody knows this is Juna and Joey,
Yes.
and they've been on our show before, but
They
audio.
have. And they did our first live performance ever.
Yeah,
on the
that's
Chris
right.
and
Y'all did
Sandy
the first
show.
live performance back then
Yes, back
with
then
our
at
show.
that time.
And but it was audio, so this is pretty
Mhm.
cool that we
Yeah.
can see y'all.
Yes, it is.
So as we get started, tell everybody how COVID has affected y'all and what have y'all done to kind of maneuver through all that?
Well, COVID has definitely affected us a lot because we haven't been able to, play out any shows. You haven't been able to practice, with our band as much as we'd like to. We haven't been able to travel, do any tours and stuff. So yeah, we've kind of been working like on the back end with the music, like doing the social media stuff and like kind of getting that in order and preparing for our EP release, which the first song is going to be coming out in March, which we're so excited about that.
We've been just kind of home, practicing.
Also
as
writing
much as
some
we
music.
can. Yeah, and songwriting is a big thing because you need that number one hit, and it takes at least 100 songs to finally get that number one.
Right.
It's a
And
long
you're on your way there.
Yeah.
hopefully.
That's like with us, when we launched the show last year, or, we launched in January, as y'all know.
Mhm.
And our original plan was 100 interviews. Was that when y'all came on the show? Was that what we said we wanted? How many?
Or was it 200?
Or was it 200 interviews?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yes.
but the original plan was 100 interviews our first year.
It was. Mhm.
And then COVID happens, and we're like,
Yeah.
we,
like,
that
changes
that
things,
changes everything, because now that we have a new show, people that are normally wouldn't come on a brand new show might be willing to come on. So we stepped it up and everything. We did over 300 interviews last year.
Yeah,
Wow.
you guys are running this online CRS very well so far, and I'm just glad that it's running.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We definitely appreciate it. It's been a lot of hard work.
But a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We enjoy it so much.
Now, a lot of people would ask, when did y'all know you wanted to do music? But I like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career?
Oh, I think it was around the time we started our YouTube channel, because we started gaining attraction very quickly on there when we were posting our covers. We used to like do some voice lessons here and there. I was more into the voice lesson thing. Actually, Joey, he was
Played
more
a lot of sports. I wasn't even into music at all. I kind of just was on the baseball field, basketball court, just shooting hoops, hitting home runs.
Yes, so music wasn't really like a everyday kind of thing. But then when we started our YouTube channel, like I said, and it started to grow, then we were like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, you're not, because I was noticing on YouTube, like all these professional artists were posting covers.
Mm-hmm.
We had 25 subscribers at the time. And I was like, we gotta sing on YouTube and try to start something. And so we basically started posting covers every week. And
Wow.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, I guess people like how we sound. So then we continued to do that, and we were like, we should, do this on all social medias. Then we got all social medias, and then it kind of just flourished from there.
And what's the dynamic between y'all two?
Wait, sorry, say that one more time.
So what's the dynamic between y'all two?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good. We work really well together. because we each contribute something different to the duo, June and Joey. Like when it comes to songwriting, I'm more into writing lyrics and like coming up with a story and
And I think more of the music and the melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, and also like picking up harmonies and melodies. Joey could sing a melody for one song, I could sing harmony, vice versa. So we basically we have a lot of different elements that we contribute to each other. So I think that we are a very good pair, and we're also brother and sister. So
Good balance there.
That makes a good balance. And I knew your brother and sister because I remember that. And
Yes.
I think that that's a really cool thing when you can
It
share this passion together. Because a lot of people out there, they don't understand when one person has a passion, but since y'all share this together, y'all have this bond that a lot of brother and sisters don't have.
yeah, it's really unique, and it's something that we're very appreciative of. Because we're also like always in the same house together, you know, because
You can always practice.
Yeah, we're always together, you know, we kind of are on the same,
Same mindset.
Yeah, mindset.
And we're still the 24/7 couple we told you about.
Oh, yes, we are. They're 24/7 family, yes. Yes, and we still have our third co-host who you'll hear from a little bit later. Yes.
He's still part of it. And again,
Yes.
all that, which I think when y'all popped in on the other interview, he was actually on there at that time too.
Yeah. Yes.
So, as y'all know, a lot of people, they see the glory of a Blake Shelton, of a Carey, of a Miranda, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level within music. And I always want to talk about that, the sacrifice side. I'm going to tell a quick story to help guide us where I want this to go. But back in 2014, we interviewed Allison Steele with Two Steel Girls. And at that time, they were full-time with music. And I'll never forget, I asked Allison what advice she'd give an up-and-coming artist. And she said, this will sound funny coming from someone full-time, but if you can see yourself doing something else, go do that and just keep this as a hobby. She goes, because the moment you want it to be a career, everything changes. You no longer own your own life. Everybody kind of owns a little piece of it out there. Then your friends and relatives, they kind of don't understand because they invite you to weddings, to cookouts, to weekends, to holidays. But you know what? You can't go. You're especially at the beginning of your career, you're grinding this sucker out. You are living music 24/7. So you have to say no to everything. Then your family has to sacrifice. They gotta have to give you up to the world and share you with the world and kind of be happy about it, knowing that they're probably going to get the crumbs left over that the world gets the feast on, so then you have that. But then she added, but if you cannot see yourself doing anything else, then go all in, because the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it. What do you think of what she said? And let's talk about that side of it.
Yeah, my manager always says that.
Always
to me.
tells us.
She's like, no parties,
no birthdays, no
nothing.
holidays. She's like,
working.
If this is what you want, you better get used to that. Like, when I asked to hang out with a friend, she's like, "No, we got a video to film. We got this to do.
Interviews on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can't go to football games.
Oh yeah, football. Joey likes to watch football on Sundays, so it's like there's definitely times where you need to make sacrifices. But if it's something that you love, it's something that if it's something that you love that you're sacrificing for, I feel like it's totally worth it, because if you work really hard at this, and which you need to, like, imperative that you work really hard and you stay motivated, you can bring you to where you want your dreams to go and what your dreams are made of. So yeah, I think that
she also says that practicing 10,000 hours, that means you've made it. Like if you practice 10,000 hours, you've made it into the real world. And it's just like, I love like our manager, because she gives us the
greatest advice.
The greatest advice.
Yeah.
And it's for real artists that want to, really get up to the plate.
We recently had Billy Allsbrooks on, and I love something he said. He said 10,000 hours makes you an expert. 20,000 hours makes you a legend.
Yeah. I just think practice over and over and over and over is just honestly makes perfect.
Hours, you're a master.
You're a Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that, because a lot of people, they don't understand artists and actors and anybody in entertainment, because it's one of them that it's not like a 9-to-5. And nothing against a 9-to-5 for anybody if they're listening that has a 9-to-5. If that's their passion, that's their passion.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a creative, you got to be tunnel vision. When you listen to interviews of a lot of when you listen to interviews of a lot of the big artists, I've noticed that there's always one question that the hosts always ask. And they always say, if music didn't work, what would you be doing? And 95% of the time, the artist says, I would just be a broke musician because I had no plan B. And I think that's the part that people miss because they don't realize that if you have a plan B, when the road gets tough, and as y'all know, it will get tough, plan B becomes plan A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great idea, like way to put that. It's really good. That's 100% true.
I would-
And I
Honestly, like if music didn't work out for me, like I was playing basketball at the time, but I just don't. People are set for what they want to do. Like people have one role. You can't do two things. You know, if you're gonna do this, you got to do it. And if you can't, then I would just keep trying. But you got to be a certain height to play basketball, and I'm kind of 5'10". You know, I'm not set for that. You know, and people have their own roles and things, and so you gotta commit to one.
Yeah, because very few people can be Spud Webb, who was like 5'7".
Yeah.
yeah,
It
totally.
just
Right.
don't. I don't know how he did it and made it into the pros, but
Yeah.
again, it just don't normally happen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if I wasn't doing music, I honestly, as you said, I don't really know where my life would take me because I feel like this is like what I was put on this earth to do. I feel like this music is like it's like my only dream, it's my only goal, it's my only passion in life. So I feel like if that doesn't work out for me, I really don't know what I'm gonna do.
And it's harder than it like people don't think that just because like, oh, you can sing, you know, you got to be able to put on a show.
You got to be able to
have
there's
passion
social
with
media
with
and
your
like
music and social media.
yeah, and like there's wardrobe that comes into it, like a good fashion sense. I mean, like, you don't have to have a great fashion sense, but like obviously like, you know, so I feel like there's so many aspects that come into it, not just, you know, being a great singer or having, I mean, like you could be a singer, but there's so many other aspects that play into it that
Yeah.
can really put you at that next level. And, you know,
It's all about putting on a show.
yeah, and just being yourself.
And we get exactly where y'all are coming from because
We
with the
do.
show, you know, Sandy's loved music all her life.
Oh,
You know, she
yeah.
didn't realize we'd be in it in this way, but she's loved music all her
Yes.
life. And, you know, and we've done probably 100 different business ideas that we launched and
at
all
least.
failed. Everything has failed.
All failed.
It's like, you know, but we learned something from every failure.
did. We
And
had
we kept
takeaways
applying it to the
from
next
each
and kept
one.
applying it to the next. Now, before they fell, it would usually make enough money to keep us going, but then it would fall. And then we'd do another, and then do another, and do another in the 18 years that we've been married. And then all of a sudden, we launched this crazy show last year in January. And it just something clicked where I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I cannot imagine never doing this show now.
That's awesome. I love that. That's really
crazy.
fun.
And it's scary. And like with y'all, it's scary because we don't
It
know, you know, we don't know if we'll ever be the Bobby Bones. Now, granted, I've got a big thing on the next to our computer that says Emmy winning the Chris and Sandy show.
That's awesome. I love that.
Dang, the Chris and Sandy show.
Because we, you know,
Bring to
that
it.
would be really cool to be up against a Dr. Phil, Kelly Clarkson's show, The View, the talk, and we win.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that's the ultimate goal for us. So for y'all, where do y'all want all this to go?
I think just to be able to get a number one, sell out a tour. Those are some of my
just like have people actually go to our tour and just like one day, like I just want to be able to walk into a bar or like a restaurant and just be like,
have
oh
someone
my
notice
God,
me.
that's June and Joey.
That's
That would
getting
just be a
recognized
dream.
is probably number one at the top of our list. So,
Wow,
yeah.
I love that. So as you know, a lot of people see y'all and see other artists, but they don't see the teams behind them. And I'll be honest, to me, the teams don't get the love they deserve. But as y'all know from the last time, the teams in our show get love. So if you want to take a few minutes just to talk about the team that helps you be who you are.
Yeah, totally. Gonna give a shout out to our mom. She is she's like a master at social media, like which came out of nowhere when we started doing music. I was like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, she posts a lot of things for us. She helps us out with that a lot. She and also our manager Di, we love her. She's always putting together like, you know, interviews and stuff, and also like getting us on national television and getting us rights and all that stuff. She's kind of like the head woman of like the whole team. As I'm trying to say.
Can't forget about the dad as well.
Oh my gosh,
He's
our number one fan. Like when I tell you our number one fan, I mean our number one
he's
fan.
constantly telling people, promoting us. Every time we go out to a restaurant, he's
Anywhere.
like, take these cards. We at a Starbucks drive-thru. He's like, oh, take this, by the way. Here's a card.
He will literally play every single video on our channel for them, and they're like, I got to do my job. And he's like, no, watch this. He's always supporting us. And yeah, we have a few other ladies that help us out with our social media as well. They create some of our cover art for our albums and stuff. And yeah, and Kayleigh Lowe, I have to give a shout out to her because she's one of the women that we write with a lot. And
cool.
Also Pete Salas. And yeah, so they are amazing, incredible writer. Builds Luigi, yes. He's so fun. Oh my gosh,
he's
literally
so fun to write
he's
with.
so fun and just an amazing person. Anyway, yeah, so those are some of the writers that we work with, and they're just great people, so nice. And yeah, so those are a few people behind our team that I wanted to give a little shout out to.
And speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, as y'all know. Oh, Chris, he's going to go get him.
Yes, I will get him.
And we've got an almost 2-year-old now.
Yes,
I don't remember how old
now.
she was when y'all came on, but she's about to be 2 in 10 days.
Oh
And, so when she gets a little older, she'll be plugged into the show too, because we are a family affair show.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Well, thanks. It's definitely interesting trying to run a show with a 9-year-old and a almost 2-year-old. And you're trying to balance all this and you're trying to make sure everything's right. And you got to make sure that both are happy while you do the show. And sometimes Sandy can't be on the show because so sometimes it becomes the Chris show instead of Chris and Sandy show.
Oh my gosh.
But we got to do what we, again, it's one of them, like you said earlier, you just do what you have to do to make it happen.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, hi.
So now y'all get to finally see him because remember they were on the show before.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So on Nick.
Oh yeah, he remembers.
Hi, Jonah and Joey. So what's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food? Oh my gosh, definitely acai bowls. Love them.
I actually love to work out, and I'm into fitness kind of. So I would say ground turkey and rice is my number one thing.
So gross.
What I eat, and I add sriracha, salt and pepper, and that's my number one thing.
And what's yours?
Pizza.
Oh my gosh, that's another one of my favorites. Me and my dad, absolutely, we go on hunts to find the best pizza near us. We've been to every single Italian restaurant because we are pizza lovers. So same.
Pineapple on your pizza?
Huh? What do you like on your pizza?
Oh, okay, so pepperoni and sausage.
Oh, so you're not a pineapple?
I don't think he's tried it.
He's not tried that yet. He'd probably like it.
He would probably like it.
There's a big debate on
there's a big
pizza or
controversy. Yeah.
So in your next
and he's got one more question.
So what's your favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would say my favorite Netflix TV show that I just actually finished watching is called Gossip Girl. It's just teen drama romance. It's just amazing. Love it.
I would say Drake and Josh or iCarly. I don't know.
Oh, the Nickelodeon. Oh, they just added Nickelodeon, or they just added iCarly back on Netflix. So I feel like everyone's been watching that. Yeah.
Hey, that iCarly comes on Teen Nick that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic.
He watches Nick all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite show?
Mine is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, it's classic.
Yep, go to.
And what's been cool about this is since we, because as y'all know, from the beginning, it was mostly a music show, but now we are an entertainment interview show where we bring on not just artists but actors and entertainers, comedians, and all that, and even CEOs. Well, because of that, we've been able to reach out to people that he watches on Nickelodeon and bring them on the show. So he's been about 5 or 6 people, from Blue's Clues guy to several people from Side Hustle has come on.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. That's incredible.
So it's I'm like, I wish when I was young, and he's didn't experience this. So it's been pretty cool to be able to build something that he can then talk to people that he likes on TV.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This generation has just changed completely. It's just
Thank God for technology.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank gosh.
Bye. Thanks.
No, thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
But, yeah, he loves us, and you know, and although things have changed a little bit because of technology, I think a lot of people now have learned a new way. And I have a feeling that when we do go back to normal or semi-normal, whatever that looks like in a year or so, that I think that what's going to happen at concerts now is because, as you know, a lot of people do these online concerts and have people pay like $5 and all that. I think they're going to include that with their main concert. And now you've got your face-to-face concert, but your online world can participate.
Oh my
So
gosh. Wait,
they're
that's
gonna combine them.
oh, like broadcast the live show?
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I think that's the future.
Oh my gosh,
Make
that
it.
is
That's a
a
good
really good
plan.
idea.
That's a
That's
good plan.
amazing. That's
Because
awesome.
think about it. I mean, it just makes sense. You know, everybody's learned how to do all this now. They might as well allow people who can't make
Yeah.
it there to be
In
with
person.
with them
We'll
too.
get to see it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like other artists, like let's say they have to go perform and then they miss a performance or whatever to
Yeah.
look at other artists and like, you know, just see a show. They'll be able to see it on the screen.
Oh yeah, like you can't make it that day or something happens. Like yeah, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
smart.
It definitely it's definitely a
Lot
plus.
of-
I mean,
lot of
it'll never
positives there.
replace the face to face
No.
because there's nothing
Yeah.
like going to a concert.
Yeah.
Oh yes, experience of
Oh my
it.
God,
We
which is
missed that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Right.
another thing that we miss too so much. I love going to concerts. It's just like the whole vibe. Like, you know, just getting
Yeah.
there, just feeling the music. It's just it's so fun.
So
Yeah.
somebody asked, where do you get your inspiration from a new song?
Oh, that's a really great question. Actually, we have this thing called like a hook book, which
Mhm.
I keep in my phone. So whenever we, you know, just come up with a great idea, like whether it's like a song title or just something that looks like it could be a great idea for a song or like a story or whatever, we just put it into our hook book and then we go down and write a
Oh, wow.
song. We'll go through those ideas, like either this, like I said, the song titles or whatever, and we'll kind of just come up with an idea based around those
Some
things.
of the song titles that we come up with are actually phrases that our parents have said.
Yeah, sometimes like our parents
wow.
just say stuff.
TV
Oh, wow.
shows,
Yeah.
like, you know, like phrases in movies or whatever. Like honestly, those are the best titles usually. The ones
Yeah.
that are just, the ones that are different and just
The ones that
you know,
just pop out at you and you're like, oh, all right, and then you just write it down and then there you go.
yeah.
I love that.
Love
So as we
that.
come to a close here, tell everybody how they can find y'all.
You can find us on pretty much every social media there is out there. We have Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
And
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, and also you can find our music, like I said, pretty much on every streaming platform, like Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, all of that. Our handle for everything is Juna and Joey. So yeah,
Junan Joey.
yeah.
And you know, we really
Awesome.
enjoyed having y'all back, especially video
did.
this time, and we
Yeah.
definitely look forward to having you back for a third time down the road.
Yeah, it's
Yes, we
been
do.
great. Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
us.
it's
It's
been
been
so
so
fun.
fun.
It's our pleasure.
Oh, same here. Thanks so much.
Thank you.